Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who that? Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? My name is Timothy J. Jones, and yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate your time. Thank you for allowing the State of the Saints podcast to be a part of your listening or viewing pleasure. I want to say before we get started, I ask that you hit the like and subscribe button. Subscribe to the State of the Saints podcast. And also on tomorrow, on Wednesday at 5 p.m., we have Saints Talk with Timothy J. Jones. It's a little bit of a difference of a time because Paxton has a T-ball game, and I signed up to be the coach. So his game is at 6:45 Eastern. So going to go out there and support my little man. So I had to kind of change some things around in order for us to be able to do the live stream on Bleacher, as well as to catch my boy a game. But thank you all so much. It's very, very simple. If you're new to this show, all you have to do is put your comments in the chat. I just ask that you hit the like button. All right. Just ask that you hit the like button. Just ask that you subscribe if you're new. On this edition, we're going to be talking about Saints new quarterback Tyler Shough, second round draft pick number 40 in this year's NFL draft. And what are the chances of Tyler Shough being a day one starter? And also, this will be a show where I will open up the phone lines. I won't talk very long on this edition because last episode, we talked about Derek Carr, and it was a very controversial topic. Some of the things that I said, you can tell I hurt a lot of the fanboys of Derek Carr's feelings. I apologize for absolutely nothing. Dude is mid, and everybody knows it, and it's just time for y'all to come to grips with that. I have no problem with that. If you are just a first-time watcher of the podcast and you just stumbled across it and you tried to label me based on one episode, then you, sir, are the type of people that I try to stay away from. But at the end of the day, shouts out to everybody that rolled with me, that liked the episode. I'm not apologizing for anything. I am who I am. We're gonna keep it 100. And I do shows for people that actually gonna rock with me. Okay, telling me that you ain't gonna watch my show no more. Tell me that, oh, you ain't subscribing. I can care less. The people that rock with me from day one and understand that we have these type of conversations where people are going to agree and disagree, those are the type of people that I want to be around. Not somebody that just thinks that I am going to be, submissive because they feel like they got the power of the subscription button. I don't care about that. I would do this show if I had one person watching me. That's a fact because it's called passion. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's talk a little bit about Tyler Shough. On Sunday, got an opportunity to really take a look at Tyler Shough. Man, I watched quite a few of his football games, man. Quite a few games. I watched Tyler Shough, a lot of his throws. And I got to say, man, I'm extremely impressed at what I've seen as far as the arm talent. His arm talent is top notch. I mean, if everything can come together when it comes to his arm talent, if he can put that together, and yeah, I think that Tyler Shough can be a quality starting quarterback in the league. But there are some things that does bother me about Tyler Shough. I think that the people analyzing Tyler Shough, based on, him coming out of nowhere. I call him the human phoenix. Rising from the ashes is basically just everybody just started to talk about him. But I can understand why. I can understand why people they gravitate to him. He has some really good leadership qualities. The way that he speaks, as far as like his belief in himself, and big up in his teammates, and also his knowledge of the game. He's been to several universities, and some people would look at that as a bad thing, but I have to give him credit, man. He went to a lot of these universities that were going to throw the football around, as well as running these pro style offenses. And when you're running a pro style offense in college, I mean, it helps you to be able to understand checks at the line of scrimmage and doing those type of things consistently. And it also kind of shines you up for the next level. The fact that you are a pro style quarterback, and he has been in a lot of different systems, and he has been able to grasp the offense. So I think that coming to New Orleans and learning Kellen Moore's offense, I think that Kellen Moore is going to understand what Tyler Shough brings to the table. And I think that Tyler Shough will understand what Kellen Moore and the Saints offense will need from him. But there are some cons to Tyler Shough's game. And I think that this is what has a lot of Saints fans nervous. Number one is, not really standing strong in the pocket at times, bracing himself against certain hits, and just kind of on that self-preservation type thing from time to time. And what I mean by that is, as a quarterback, you're going to get hit eventually. Like, I don't care how great your offensive line is, you're going to get hit in the chops. And I just think that sometimes he kind of just, no pun intended, just shucks the ball out of his hands, and, he puts it into harm's way. There's actually one play that I wanted to take. I just wanted to show you, just to give you all an example of what I'm talking about here. This particular play right here is, I want to say, I think it's against Boston College right here. This is the play I'm talking about here. So it's off of play action. He rolls to his right, and you see this linebacker barreling down on him. So he just shucks the ball up there instead of him throwing the ball away. It's like he gets a little bit nervous, and he just kind of just throws the ball anywhere. There's one play that I seen where he had pressure. He just kind of flicked the ball up, and it just got intercepted. It seems like, he just has to have a little bit of patience in the pocket. And I think that the New Orleans Saints kind of had that in mind. I think that the New Orleans Saints thought they could possibly get Tyler Shough, and, being able to create an offensive line around him is a plus. I think that the addition of Calvin Banks is going to help him tremendously, because he's going to have that comfortability in the pocket in order for him to be able to make throws like this one right here. I mean, he throws it down there, right on the rope to his wide receiver. Those are the type of throws that can get you excited about watching Tyler Shough. He has that arm talent that you need. His arm talent kind of reminds me of Phillip Rivers. Some people look at a comparison, they feel like, oh, if a person, if you name a person, they're like, oh, well, that person didn't run. Like, Phillip Rivers didn't run, but some of the ways that Phillip Rivers was able to move around, in the pocket, be able to deliver the ball down the field, it kind of reminds me of that. Now, there are some issues with a couple things as well. I think some of his short immediate passes need to work on his accuracy there. And also staring down his wide receivers, man. I've seen on several occasions, I feel like that's the reason why, some of the passes were incomplete, possibly tipped, a defender making a play. I just feel like maybe he's staring down his primary receiver just a little bit too long, man. But I just think that it's just some fine tuning that he just needs to work on. I think it's a solid pick, and I think it can go either way. He has the talent to be a starting quarterback, starting caliber. And, I mentioned Phillip Rivers. If he has a career like Phillip Rivers, who's going to be mad at that? I know it didn't come with a Super Bowl, but, I mean, Phillip Rivers has played a lot of great football in his day. And, I just think that Tyler Shough, if he can put it all together, can have a solid career in the National Football League. But that was my assessment based on what I seen, there was a couple notes that I had. I want to make sure that, I go ahead and talk about some of those notes. Let me go ahead and pull up these notes. I had some pros and cons. Like I said, I wanted to kind of discuss. The pros is, his size and his arm strength. Like I said, 6'5", 225 pounds. You don't have those issues where you see with shorter quarterbacks having issues being able to see over the offensive line. So that's a plus. And also, there's also some speed to his game. There's some speed to his game. I feel like this is an element that can be added as well. The RPO game. This is him on the run. And if you watch the NFL Combine, I mean, he ran a 4.6 40. That's pretty good for a quarterback, man. So he's not a quarterback that's looking to scramble like he's Lamar Jackson or, Michael Vick or something like that. But if he gets in trouble, he'll be able to get out of the pocket and possibly slide or maybe to, get to the sidelines, try to get a first down, maybe on some of those 3rd and 2, or even, some of those situations where, like I said, a pocket collapse. But he has to be able to have that patience to be able to stand in a pocket and not be afraid. And and sometimes you can tell like he gets the yips a little bit at times. That's something that he's just going to have to work on. But I think that helps when you have a really good offensive line that you can actually trust. Like I said, the mobility and athleticism is there. The multiple offenses that he's been a part of, and he has, he has leadership qualities. It's easy to see why people like him so much. Like I said, if he can get that decision making under reps, I think that Tyler Shough can be solid. But let me go ahead and read some of your comments. Really do appreciate your time. Scroll down a little bit because I know I said a lot. We'll start with Denny. Denny says, I want to know why Noon is talking about Hunter Deckers, who is headed to the Saints training camp. Let me see. Who that Derek White? You can have whatever you like. Yeah. Trading Rattler would be dumb. I don't understand why people would talk about trading Spencer Rattler. I don't understand that. Like, why would you want to trade Spencer Rattler? Spencer Rattler was a 5th round pick number, 150 or something like that. So, I mean, if Spencer Rattler ends up giving you anything, it's a plus. And this is a great opportunity for Spencer Rattler. I know that the topic is about Tyler Shough possibly being a day one starter. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of this is the highest quarterback the Saints have taken since Archie Manning back in 1971. I mean, we all heard the story. And, the fact that, this is a Kellen Moore guy. My thoughts and views over the last couple of episodes has nothing to do with Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, to me, is talented. It's a matter of if he can be able to put it together. From year 1 to year 2, has he made any type of jump? It's unfair to evaluate him based on what the Saints had on the field. You're a rookie, you're inexperienced, you didn't really get too many reps because at the time you were the 3rd string quarterback, and now all of a sudden you have to get acclimated to being that starter. And I just think that some people may look at some of these football players like they're watching these football movies where, these guys come in, unheralded, and they coming off the bench, clipboard, hey, Singleton, you're in. And then all of a sudden, Singleton, the binder falls on the ground and, he knocks over the water pail and he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, and all of a sudden Singleton comes in the game and throws 4 touchdowns and everybody love him. But that's not how things work in real life. I mean, it's about preparation. It's about, repetition. And it's also about having a supporting cast to make you feel comfortable. So I'm not really evaluating Spencer Rattler the way that you would evaluate some of these young rookies. Yeah, there were some things that he needs to work on, but I think with a more of a sure pocket, he'll be able to deliver the ball down the field and probably show some really good qualities, especially when if you throw a ball that's 50-50, you have some capable wide receivers that will be able to catch the ball, or you have a wide receiver that can end up running a really good route to get some type of separation. So I just say you don't have to just completely throw, Spencer Rattler away. I understand that the excitement of Tyler Shough, I call it the Buzz Lightyear complex, where he's the shiny new toy, and the one that came before him, that's the Woody, right? Woody was in the toy box. Buzz Lightyear was in the bed with Andy. You get what I'm saying? Like, he became Andy's new favorite toy. But, Woody was still, great. And, he still was loyal and held it down. So I don't think anybody needs to talk about trading Spencer Rattler. I think that Spencer Rattler just needs an opportunity to be able to, show what he has with a good supporting cast around him. Saints are going to run the football to help him out. Kellen does a good job of helping his quarterbacks out. Well, he definitely showed Paul last season that he can switch it up. Kellen Moore didn't always have that reputation for wanting to run the football. Like, that just wasn't it. He just realized that he had a very special running back in Saquon Barkley that can lead the charge. The Saints, too, have a really special running back in Alvin Kamara that can lead the charge. But you also have to have some other running backs around him. Like, I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I like him a lot. I think that Clyde can bring something to the table. Also, Devin Neal, I really think he can bring some to the table. I think in a couple of years, we might even be talking about Devin Neal being a starting running back for the Saints. I was shocked when he was a 6th-round pick. I thought for sure he probably would have went in maybe like the 4th round or something. Very smart football player, really good leader, really good pad level he runs with. And, he makes really good decisions, very patient runner. So the Saints got a really solid running back room. I didn't mention Kendre Miller because, he has to step up, man. This is an opportunity. This is a clean slate, a true clean slate. None of this coaching staff offensively really knows him like that. So this is an opportunity for him to be able to turn a page and be that running back. Come to some of these activities healthy, ready to work out. Be a student of the game. Don't just allow film study or lack thereof to stop you from reaching your full potential, because he has some good qualities, man. This is a really good problem to have if everybody just starts to buy in at the running back position, because all of these running backs has something to bring to the table. And if somebody was to go down, they all have traits that you feel that if the starting running back goes down, they're reliable enough to be able to give the Saints offense production. And, I think that Kellen Moore is going to try to run the football. I do agree with you. If you're going with a young quarterback, rather he's a rookie or a second-year guy like Spencer Rattler is, you want to accompany him with something he can count on, which is a solid running game. So the Saints need to make sure that they shore up, as they have, shore up this offensive line and, run the football and, really have an offensive game plan together where it does have that defense dazed and confused. We get it. We like Spencer Rattler. We make excuses for him like Jameis. But it's not about making excuses for him like Jameis. Jameis, look, it's well within somebody's rights, because we do it with Derek Carr. If you look at Jameis Winston and say, well, Jameis Winston is, he's been in the league forever, right? And you're like, man, I don't think he's a solid starting quarterback. I feel like that's kind of valid. Like if somebody say, well, how you been in the league this long and you still haven't found success? That's fair, right? But we're talking about a 2nd-year guy. Like, think about this. This is a 2nd-year guy that didn't have his 1st or 2nd starting wide receiver. Offensive line basically was plug and play. Most of the wide receivers he was throwing to came off the practice squad. They probably signed with the team last week. And you had like a defense that just seemed like they just checked out, or they just feel like they were just getting up there in age. They didn't have anything to accompany him. So it's not like you're making excuses for him, right? What can you do? What can you do if you don't have a supporting cast around you? It's not about making an excuse. When it comes to Spencer Rattler, like, that is a fact. Like, we can't say no excuse. Like, you can say no excuses, but come on, give me a freaking break. That's like me telling you, like, in my former life, I was a retail manager, right? And district manager goes to a store and he gives you what you call a task list, right? He sees the things that you need to work on as a store. And let's just say I give you the entire checklist and I don't give it to anybody else. And there's maybe 13, 14 things on there. And those things consist of, I don't know, maybe a few of them taking 4 to 5 hours to do, and you have an 8-hour shift. And then all of a sudden, you probably get 2 of those things accomplished. Now I come back to you and be like, man, what the heck is going on? Why this stuff ain't done? You're going to look at me like I'm crazy. Like, man, look at this stuff. Like, you wanted me to change around this shelf right here. You wanted me to put this on the shelf. You wanted me to take off the old stuff, put the new stuff on. It takes time, right? So when you look at Spencer Rattler and what he had to go up against, I mean, it's pretty fair that you don't fully evaluate him. Like, there were some things about his game that he definitely needs to work on. But to say like, oh man, he just ain't it, like, I ain't seen enough of it. If you want to say that about Derek Carr or you want to say that about Jameis Winston, I can fully understand why you may feel the way that you do. But when it comes to a guy who has been in the league for 2 years, like, we know that there wasn't really any true leadership up top like that, that can be able to help him, or at least, speak up, you know what I'm saying, to try to get the resources to help him. We know that. So all I'm saying is, like, it's not the same. It's not the same, man. You got one guy who's inexperienced and you got other guys that have been in the league forever. So it's not about making excuses or liking him. It's about being real about the situation. Let's see. Tight ends wasn't even healthy. Yeah. I mean, you had Juwan Johnson, he was in and out. Foster Monroe, God bless the brother. I mean, I know he was concussed in the game, I mean, there was a lot of things. Like, there are a lot of injuries. Like, it was hard for any quarterback to come up in that thing and win. You had to be like super special in order to win in those type of situations. Rattler played with a fractured team, and behind a mediocre quarterback, he was in a bad situation. Yeah, that's the way I feel, man. I can't like fully evaluate him and just throw somebody away that I know the circumstances didn't really serve him. But like, just like any other quarterback, you got some good qualities, you got some bad qualities, and sometimes the situation, can kind of force a quarterback who has bad qualities to feel like they got to put it all on themselves. And I think I really feel like he probably felt that way at times, but he wasn't ready for that moment. He wasn't ready to put everything on his shoulders. You got to be able to go out there and be able to feel the game, see the game, adjust to the game, especially when you're young and inexperienced. So I say, man, like the book hasn't been written on Spencer Rattler yet. I think it should be an interesting competition, man. If he comes in focused, if he comes in dialed in, I know he worked out, with a lot of well-respected like quarterback coaches and stuff like that. I think that if you really are dialed in, you can make this thing interesting. And as a Saints fan, you want it to be interesting. You don't want to just we don't want the situation where it's just like you have the starting quarterback and the next guy is just represents hopelessness. Like, you want somebody that, okay, if we're talking about quarterback competition at camp and we're hearing some of these stories and these reporters coming out with, oh man, it was a great battle today between Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler. That's what you want to hear, right? That's what you want to hear, because if you're a Saints fan, you believe in Spencer Rattler's ability, you feel like he should be able to get better from year 1 to year 2. And if Tyler Shough is showing you something like, okay, man, he kind of lock and step, with Spencer Rattler with this, he was worth the 2nd round pick that the New Orleans Saints decided to go out there and use on him. So it's win-win to me. Good quarterback play doesn't necessarily good quarterback battles don't necessarily mean like a bad thing. That just means that you have 2 pieces of iron sharpening one another, and that's what you need. You need competition. I'm going to open up the phone lines, and like I said, we talk about Tyler Shough. Feel free to talk about Derek Carr. I know we talked and discussed that. Not really going to go into that anymore about Derek Carr, man. I think it is what it is at this point. Most of the time when people are talking about Derek Carr, I know that he had a situation that came out that was revealed about, his family and stuff like that. Look, that's horrible that happened to him. Don't get me wrong. It was horrible. All right. But, but at the same time, I just feel like Come on, man. I'm talking about as far as, him talking about the shoulder injury and, some of the things that I seen when it came to that comment. I just feel like he was just kind of looking for sympathy. So, and you kind of brought the situation on yourself. Josh, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, TJ? Got a couple of things to say today, and you probably ain't gonna like what I have to say, but is it cool if I proceed?
Go ahead.
I'm actually pretty disappointed in the Who Dat Nation with the way they are treating Derek Carr. Now, just so you guys know, I still want Derek Carr gone. I haven't jumped back on his bandwagon or anything like that. He hasn't come as advertised. He's not the player he used to be. I want him to go somewhere else. So I'm still in that category. But when you find out that someone's had a miscarriage and you're still attacking them, like the way Saints fans are doing on Twitter or here on YouTube, and his miscarriage is basically the reason he hasn't been around. That's what I would presume. And you still want to attack him for not being around and making YouTube videos and all this. I don't get what that, man. That's not that. My personal morality is very offended by that, and because to me, this is just attacking someone just to attack them, just bullying someone just to bully them. If you don't like Derek Carr's play on the field, cool. I'm with you. I agree with you. But, as a person, he's been getting attacked pretty much ever since he got here. You know what I'm saying? Like, fans say they want him to show more effort, so he does show more effort and makes that diving play, hurts his hand, and then the fans get on him for hurting his hand. They actually scream at him for putting in that extra effort. So he just can't win either way. And I'm just kind of sick of watching like the bullying process of it all, man. Like this dude, I swear to God, next week there's going to be some story that comes out where Derek Carr is in the grocery store shopping for groceries, and someone's going to attack him for getting groceries while he's supposed to be at a freaking voluntary practice or something. I know I'm going against the majority of the Who Dat Nation when I say these things, but my personal morality doesn't like what I'm seeing because a lot of the fans in the Who Dat Nation have made it personal with him, and that's what gets me. And so, I don't know. I'll let you respond to that, man. But like, now that we know that he's had a miscarriage and everything, and we're still attacking this dude, like I can't go there, man. So, but I'll let you respond.
Okay, I will respond. I think that, with all due respect, I think you're looking at it like completely wrong. Like, you have individuals that are looking at Derek Carr as a football player, what he does on the field. Like, what he hasn't done on the field is the reason why, well, I would say, logical Saints fans are, critical of him about, right? I mean, it has nothing to do with like the personal issue or personal what's going on behind the scenes, because on a personal level, everybody feels like Derek Carr is a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody talks about like how he's a family guy, a man of faith. Those are good qualities. Like, who cares at the end of the day? Those are the most important things ever. You know what I'm saying? If people tell me that I suck as a podcaster, but I'm a great dad, guess what? That's the greatest compliment you can give me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my number one priority. I think most fans are just kind of fed up with the situation. We know that the Saints organization coddled him for the most part. They were willing to kind of divide the fan base or even get rid of some quality players in order to keep him satisfied. And Saints fans feel like he hasn't done enough in the Saints organization to be, to be given that type of grace, especially if you're not like out here being all world. So
I agree.
Like
I totally agree.
It has not, but my opinion on him and my take on him has absolutely nothing to do with him as, him as a person or his family, anything like that. I just think that the Saints could do better at the quarterback position. I think that they need to cut ties with him.
100% agree.
I stand by that. You know what I'm saying? Like, two things can be true. Like, and I want to say this too, Josh.
But a lot of the Saints fans are attacking him personally. That's what I'm trying to say. They're taking it from beyond the football field into just second guessing everything he does off the football field and calling him you see James Scrametta or whatever his name is, calling him a straight piece of trash and all that, right? He's been doing it for the last 2 weeks.
Well, I mean but that's how people feel about him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like you cannot like operate and deal the way that he has. You know what I'm saying? And expect people to like just be okay with it. Like it also, this is a guy who's been in the league for 12 seasons. He's been at 12 seasons. He knows how the media works. You know, like he knows how it works. And a lot of this and everything, I guess people are frustrated because it seems like every time he makes a decision, like it always has to have like some type of excuse, like, and he takes no accountability for the things that he does. I mean, it's the truth. Like he criticized Chris Olave for basically being a decoy on a play instead of, you know what I'm saying, because the play wasn't successful. He knew that this guy was a decoy, but he made it seem like, oh man, this guy supposed to be running downfield. And the organization basically covered it up. And people see that stuff. So like I said, man, it just rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Personally, I don't have any, like, personally, I ain't got nothing against him as a person. Like I said, he has the qualities that matter in this world. But as a quarterback, I ain't feeling it, man. And I just think that they can do better when it comes to the starting quarterback position, or at least try.
I agree with you on that, man. And that's as long as people keep it there, I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying?
But if anybody like going at him and saying some like stuff
people
about,
are making fun of his miscarriage. Saints fans, have you seen Twitter? People are making fun of his miscarriage.
Man. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I don't look the pulse of the Who Dat Nation in certain aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like it has like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people that aren't on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people that follow this team. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that sometimes when we start looking at social media, we start like evaluating and paying attention to that stuff. I think, and being on it as much, we feel like that's the general consensus, and it's really not. You know, they got some people out here because, man, social media can bring out the worst in people, but that don't mean that's not everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a nice percentage of people that don't even touch social media on a consistent. So that's just the way that it goes, man. I wouldn't like buy into that so much. You know, social media sometimes bring out the worst in people, but there's some great people out there in this world that understand that. And they probably went through the same thing that he goes through. You know, but I mean, that he went through, I should say. But man, look, social media ain't a real place to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a place where you kind of just give your opinion, your point of view, and you're going to have some people out there that probably, you know, understand where you're coming from. Then you got the people that's going to go against the grain just to go against the grain. Then you have people that, you know, hide behind fake profiles that just probably just miserable in life, and they see some person on social media that has a level of happiness and they just want to spoil it. So I wouldn't buy into that, Josh.
All right. Now, I appreciate all that, man. And I don't want to jump into the next subject too quick because this is pretty deep, but I want to give other people time to get on, right? So I'll talk about the quarterback situation quick. I think Spencer Rattler will probably end up being the starter over Tyler, at least for this next year. I can't see them just starting somebody who, I mean, his age kind of works in his favor in this way because they're looking at him. He's already 26. It might be less of a transition for him to, you know, jump into NFL action. But I still think they would want him to sit for a year or at least half a year and let Spencer Rattler go out there. And if Spencer Rattler by midseason is still wet in the bed, then maybe they put him in. Yeah. But I feel like they drafted Tyler to hopefully be the starter the year after this year, next year, if Spencer Rattler doesn't work out. I think that's what they're. I don't know what they're thinking, but that's what I would think that they are thinking. And so that's kind of what I expect to happen. This guy's got a lot of skills, but he gets hurt a lot, as you said. So I don't. Do we have another quarterback right now, or is it just those two?
I mean, based on like the ones that are healthy, I mean, you got Jake Haener, but I mean, no disrespect.
Oh yeah, Jake Haener.
But more than likely, he probably gonna get cut. I mean, teams just don't, you know, that's just not the way that they roll, man. Teams will normally just have their starter and their backup, and at best, Jake will probably be like a practice squad guy. So Yeah, I think that, you're probably going to be looking at these two guys. I ain't got caught up in my throat. Now you swallow, you start go. But nah, seriously, man. Like, I just think it's going to be those two guys. And, I think there's probably just going to be a camp battle and going to see what they're going to do with Derek Carr.
Yeah, I still don't expect Carr to start or anything like that. I think he's pretty much gone. But like, I expect Spencer Rattler to end up starting. That's what I expect, but I could be wrong about that. But I'll let you get to some other callers because I definitely went long this time. But I appreciate you coming back at me and not coming back at me angrily, like probably a lot of fans would.
Man, I understand that a lot of people have their own opinions. I mean, you're well within your right to feel the way that you do. But I do want to warn you about the spaces of social media, man. And I'm saying this from personal experience. I allowed that to kind of consume me earlier in my podcasting life, when I just felt like, my work sometimes is being valued by social media responses. And, I just realized, man, like, you just got to take it for what it is. Like, when you're blessed and you're privileged and, you got a lot of good things going for yourself, that's the things that you need to focus on. Like, most people on social media, sometimes they see this illusion of, in a collage of, like, just falsehoods, like things that people are doing, like they living life and I'm not. Oh, they got this going on, I don't. And it creates like this negativity, and people just like to spew that stuff out, just to try to put that type of energy in the air. So I just say, man, just focus on the positive. People are always gonna have something to say. That's just the way that it is. Rather it's positive or negative things going on in your life, somebody's always gonna have something to say. But the ones that matter are the people that that you value the most, man. So I wouldn't even buy into that type of stuff right there, man.
The making fun of the miscarriage stuff, and I saw like 20 people doing it. It was just like, wow, dude, really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're right. They're probably basement dwellers who have no life. And
yeah, I mean, or like, I don't even want to say that. Like, sometimes people just hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, hurt people, man. Like, seriously. Like, I don't even think they bad people sometimes. I just think that sometimes people just make bad decisions, or they allow like certain things like to consume them, and they make bad decisions. I don't want to call them bad people, man. It's just sometimes like people just make bad choices sometimes, and they just have to like figure out the things that make them happy and the things that they value. And I guarantee you some of the feelings that they have won't be that way no more, man. But I appreciate it, man.
This is the wisdom that keeps me coming back to your show, TJ. This is the wisdom that keeps me loyal to the State of the Saints podcast. But I'll let you go with that.
I appreciate it, man. Josh, but you're well within your rights to feel the way you do, man. Call back anytime.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Before I go to Mick, man, first off, like I said, man, I appreciate the call. But yeah, man, if you out here like going at a man like that and just making personal attacks on that ain't cool. That is not cool. My take, I just feel like we live in this world. Two things can be true, all right? I just think that sometimes in this world of the split screen, this world of debate, we feel like we have to make a choice. It's rather I got to roll with this guy over here or roll with this person over here. And in between, like, we act like we can't, like two things can't be true. Two people can make two valid points and you can believe both of them because they're valid points. But, this is what I mean when I say about Derek Carr. Two things can be true. You can feel bad about what is going on in his personal life, but you also can be frustrated at the quarterback play and the way that he has carried himself in certain situations. I don't think there's a problem with that. Like, like I say this all the time. If my wife tells me that I should have did something, or she upset with me, that don't mean that she don't love me. It just means that she ain't happy with something that I'm doing right now. So that's all I'm saying. Like, two things can be true. You can love somebody, just not be satisfied with what they're doing. You can feel sorry for somebody, what they have going on in their personal life, and also understand that he ain't it. All right. I'm just being serious. He ain't it. All right. But let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to Mick. Mick, how you doing, man?
What's going on, good brother?
Hey, man, doing great, man. Glad to hear from you, man. It's been a while.
Man, your boy been working like a dog, my boy.
Bro, I hear you, man. I hear you. I hear you, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro.
Yes,
Get that money,
sir.
man.
Man, what we gonna do about these Saints, man?
I have no idea, man. I really don't. I don't have the faintest idea.
I ain't gonna hold it up too long. I just got a few topics, man. I want to get off my chest because it's
Hmm.
really good. It's really good to catch you at a good time and talk with you, man.
Yeah.
Um, Man, the draft, man, it left me in such kind of a weird predicament, man. I hope that it works with Tyler Shough. I really do hope so.
Hmm.
But man, I'm so done with the Saints front office. It's like it's hard for me to like even give them credibility because like Mickey Loomis and Gail Benson, and I hold her accountable too because she's the owner and I just don't see her stepping in enough.
Hmm.
It's like they doing the same kind of thing. Like I heard you mention it, like the play safe type of thing. We just
Right.
want to play it safe and man, I hope it works with Tyler Shucks. I do, but I'm just like I just don't know, man. It just seems like they do things intentionally to pee their fans off. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
to and man, I don't know. Even the fact that they got all these speedster wide receivers, but they don't have a big body wide receiver, and they don't have a tight end yet. Tyler Shuck I think would have still probably been there later in the second round. They could have traded up for him and got him, but you could have got a saw wide receiver or a tight end there. I don't know, man. I'm perplexed. And
Hmm.
the last thing that I just want to say, the last thing I don't know if you can still hear me, but the last thing I want to say is man, I don't know really what the Saints are using to evaluate quarterbacks because it's so difficult to evaluate college to the pro. A lot of people look at, oh, well, he's 6 foot whatever and he has great arm talent. None of that really matters once you get into the league.
Right.
The only things that I can say where I can for sure evaluate talent is like I like the quarterbacks that go to schools where they may not have had a great offensive line, but they still balled out and they ran a pro style offense in college. Those are like the only thing I can feel like you can really evaluate in college because everything else is just like we'll see. Once they get into the league.
Yeah.
Um, Man, so I don't know. And then the last thing I want to say, I'm almost sure that he's going to start because he's almost 48 years old. I'm being dramatic, but it's like you draft him at 40, and I wanted to work out with Spencer Rattler because I did like Spencer Rattler. I don't feel like he got a fair shake, because he was playing with guys that's not even probably in the league anymore.
Mm.
But I don't think he's going to get a fair shake. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, you interviewed a wide receiver that he was kind of breaking down the politics of training camp that, and you interviewed it, I forget his name, but he was breaking down the politics of training camp that, if you are a veteran receiver, even if you're more talented than the first round pick that came in, the organization, they don't want to embarrass themselves. So the politics, they're going to lean more to, they're going to be more lenient. They're going to give more grace. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like unless Tyler Shucks go out there and just absolutely like sucks to the point where it's like you can't even cover it, he's gonna start day one.
Yeah.
And I just hope he's ready, man. I hate that I'm starting to like the pick now because then when he posted the post today, like he'll down the field about the Saints and he's playing Boosie. I'm like, oh man, I'm starting to like him for all the reasons that just a likable guy, but I don't know if he can even play football yet. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Number one, Mick, I wasn't really saying anything when you were speaking because every time I talk, I can hear my echo in the background. That's why I muted you for a second. But I'll respond and I'll give you an opportunity to kind of chime back in if you like. Um, I do agree. And that interview is actually available. It was the interview I did a few years ago with Rasheed Matthews. He played with the Saints for a little while, and he decided like in training camp that he wanted to step away and retire. And I thought that was a really good interview, man. I mean, he really talked about some of the stops that he made with the Titans, Jets, Dolphins, and he talked about the politics. So I appreciate that, Mick, for you bringing that up. But yeah, I do think that the Saints are going to give him ample opportunities. I'm talking Tyler Shough to be able to go out there and perform. And I mentioned this before. My position, and I'm talking about with the quarterbacks, had nothing to do with my feelings about Spencer Rattler. I don't want anybody to get the indication from me that I'm saying that, oh man, I'm just forgetting about all the things I said about Spencer Rattler. I'm looking at it from a new regime perspective where this is a guy, once again, I'm talking about Tyler Shough, the second round pick that Kellen Moore was very instrumental in bringing in here. So they're going to give him those opportunities. And as far as like with the Saints organization, I do feel like some of the decision making and some of the process is a little bit stale. Like you can't just build your team full of Boy Scouts of America, so to speak. Like you want your players to be top notch. You want them to be leaders. You want them to be, like productive on the field. But you also need some dogs in a locker room too. Like there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a guy, rolling up to the facility and like man ain't about nothing but football, right? He wired a different way. Like, because we have seen guys who have wired a different way find success in the league. Like, you think that Trent Williams is one of the nicest people to be around for the 49ers? Heck nah. But he's one heck of a left tackle. So we're going to tolerate this cat, right? I mean, you just need a balance. Like, for every, nice guy that you have on the team, you got another guy that's going to be able to go up in there and, start some stuff. So I just think that you need a balance. And, I just think that maybe that's just the issue. And lastly, when it comes to Gail Benson, look, man, I don't like, I just feel like when you look at Gail Benson, like, why are we even looking at her like, oh man, she just understands like football fully. Like, this is a woman who was married to the former owner, Tom Benson, who bought the team, right? And during the twilight of his life, he like tried to hurry up and expedite like the ownership process, having to go to like these different meetings and all these different things. Like, I don't expect for her to understand like certain things about football. Those are the responsibilities of guys like Mickey Loomis and crew. The unfortunate thing about it is this Saints organization is like a mom and pop shop where they're just family oriented, and they're going to give guys up in the front office ample opportunities to make up for their mistakes. I just hope that it doesn't cost the team in the long run, and I just hope that they can be able to figure it out, because that's all we can do at this point, Mick.
I don't know if I fixed the echo now, but I don't know if you can hear me pretty better.
I can.
Yes, sir. Okay, so this is what I want to sum it up to say. The one word that I can use to describe the entire Saints organization, and this is going to tie into Derek Carr because I'm just talking about it a little bit, but he's not worth my time.
Right.
The one thing, the one word, you know what that word is, TJ?
What's that?
It's ego. It's ego. And let me tell you why. With Gail Benson, you mentioned it. Yes, she is not a football lady. Like a person that knows that really you can see her passionate. She's more of a politician. She's there to do fundraisers and volunteer and everything like that. And I don't want that to come across as an insult to her, but that's just the truth as far as what I've seen. A couple years ago, if you follow the Saints, you follow the Saints like we do, you'll know about the stories of Rita Benson, Tom Benson's daughter, who held Sean Payton accountable, right? But let me tie this in with when I say ego. If you do not know how to do the job, that's okay. If you, just got into football and you don't really know and you just got thrown in, appoint people to be able to make those decisions. But one thing you cannot be happy with is sucking. And that's what the Saints consistently over the last few years I've seen them do. That ties into decisions like playing Zach Bond in a position that wasn't even really his fit, and then you see him going to Philly and it works perfectly. That ties into letting guys, go like Trey Hendrickson and people that really could have helped us, Marcus Williams, and know some of those voids that's never been filled. And, even Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas said his piece, but he wasn't lying. No, he didn't. And it's all coming to pass, And then you look at somebody like Derek Carr. The reason why Saints fans don't like Derek Carr, and if you're talking, I haven't seen the comments, but if anybody is mentioning his personal life, yeah, that's messed up. But strictly to football, you talk about ego. He does not. I have never heard him take accountability during his time with the Saints. I've never heard him say genuinely, "This is on me," or "This is my decision." You know why? Because that was the culture that Mickey Loomis allowed to be built. When you have DA, you're giving him completely control, like he's credible, and he hasn't won anything as a coach. We've seen him in Oakland fall miserably, but that's all tying into ego. How can this guy Carr, and a lot of players see it too, how can you come into an organization and, like you said, scream to a lobby like you somebody. But dude, you haven't done anything, and you getting 40 million, and you literally, bro, I would have been so much better with us keeping Teddy Bridgewater for half of that, and Teddy could have produced more than that. You know what I mean? Like this is the frustration that I have, man. To the Saints organization, it was easier when I was a kid, and you just love your team. But then when you get older and you work in some of these corporate environments, man, these guys are no different than the same things we see off of politics on our jobs. You get
Right.
me? And it's vividly shown there for us to see, and that's the frustration I don't think people understand. And that's the
Yeah.
privilege when you got Carr coming up here and he's able to just say whatever and feel like he's the victim. You're not the victim, dude. At
Right.
least not football wise.
Yeah, and also, I and I'm not saying this like to be cruel or anything like that, but I sense levels of narcissism, man.
Yeah.
Like, and what I mean by that is narcissists sometimes like they put you in like situations where they make you feel bad about talking about them in the first place. And I just think that he like even with that like when he was talking about his shoulder injury and stuff like that and talking about I'm really hurt and all that kind of stuff, it was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody was saying these things about you. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all why y'all should feel bad about talking about me. It's like he cares so much about what people think. And I said, like, I don't know if y'all remember this or not. I said this like right. I said the only thing that really bothers me about Derek Carr, and I said I hope it's not a reoccurring thing. I said he keeps bringing up the Raiders. I said
Yep.
that was like a red flag for me. It was like a scorned boyfriend or a scorned girlfriend or something like that that didn't get over the breakup. Like I said, it just kind of reminds me of like when man, everybody probably knows somebody like this or even experienced this. It's almost like you fed up with somebody that you've been talking to, right? You fed up with him or whatever. Man, I'm done with him. I'm about to leave. I'm about to leave him. And then all of a sudden, like they get a text, you get a text message from them like, hey, how you doing? Look, I know you don't want to talk to me right now, but I'm really going through something right now. I heard something about my mama and I just need somebody to talk to. That's what he kind of reminds me of.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I don't want to just blow him off like this. You know what I'm saying? I do like his mama. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Like that.
right.
That's what that kind of reminds me of. And it's like, man, like, look, I'm with you with the family stuff and like with his wife and like that's terrible. But at the same time, man, you can't like do messed up stuff and then turn around and take and put this on yourself and then
Man.
turn around and be like, oh man, why y'all talking about me? Like you brought it
Oh
on
my
yourself.
goodness, man, you hit the nail on the head. It's top tier narcissism because he came out and tried to come and make people feel sorry for him more before he ever even took accountability. How did you go into hiding for Super Bowl week when all the festivities was down here and now we're hearing things about you're not happy and then you only come out to say I have a shoulder injury and then when that doesn't move the needle, then you come out and say, he goes to church, and you playing on the good Lord's name in the Lord's house, you go to church and you and oh, I don't understand why are these people lying on me. Come on, dog. Like you gotta either have the worst timing in the world or it's grade A narcissism. And
Yeah,
everybody that
that's
an
what I'm
experience,
saying. Like, man, some
yeah,
people can do that. Like, some people can't stand not being accepted or liked, and they will do anything to try to get the pressure off. But that includes making individuals feel horrible or bad about talking about you. Like I said, man, man, look, shit. I'm pretty sure everybody or know somebody or even experience that themselves. Like it's almost like somebody is trying to change the game or switch gears or whatever like that, or change up the, change up the energy, so to speak. Like it's almost like, man, like I said, it's just like trying to get the power back in your favor. Like now it's like, oh, I can't talk about him now. Yes, I can. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because what I'm talking about has nothing to do with him as a personally, is what I'm saying.
Right, man. I think that's what rub him the wrong way, and that's what rub other people the wrong way is the fact that it's like, no, no, no. Look, two things can be true, like you say, man. What he went through with his family, that's terrible.
Right.
But like what he's shown throughout what is it, 2 or 3 seasons, 2 seasons going into the third one, as far as with the Saint, like 99% of that has been lack of accountability, and basically doing the same thing, if not worse than Andy Dalton just did, but for $40 million more. You know, and you know, man, I want somebody to go find the stats, man, because I'm almost sure, like, even I just want to mention this last point, man. Even before the draft, I was so frustrated with some of these other beat reporters that work for the Saints that shall remain nameless, that was talking about, you know, the Saints were 500 with Carr, so we still suck. It's almost, yeah, he gives the team the best chance to win. By what margin? Like, I want people to hold him to the fire. That's why I like coming to your show and listening to your show. That's why I'm dedicated to it. I want people to do that because nobody else in that organization seems like they're consistently holding him accountable.
Man, I'm at the point, like, I already know, man. I already know the deal. I would be shocked I ever, like, walk through airline. And it has nothing to do with the fact that, you know, I'm not credentialed. That's why I try to tell people, but they don't care. You know, I'm I'm literally a part of the media, but the problem is I'm not gonna sit up here and just play that game. I'm not gonna play the game. And you know, like, if I got, you know, I just think that fans are owed an explanation, like, as to why things aren't going right. Like, and I don't think about, like, what other people may feel. Like, fans pay their hard-earned money and go to that Superdome to watch a product that they could actually feel like is enjoyable and watchable. And if you're not giving them that, I don't care. Like, you can't sit up here and get mad when y'all just screw up and then people call you out on it. And then all of a sudden, like, oh man, they're just being negative. They don't see the good we doing, because you ain't got no good. You might throw a pass down the field on a 3rd and 5 that, you know, that looked pretty doggone good, but you lost. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But we lost close. We lost close. It was a close
we
loss.
almost
We're
there.
almost there.
Yeah, we almost there. Yeah, come on, man. That ain't doing it. Like, almost there is like what you tell your homeboy, like, hey man, you're a little late, man. I'm almost there. Like, okay, I'll wait around. You don't say that.
I'm just leaving the house.
Right.
I'm just leaving the house.
Right. This is football we talking about here, man. But man, a lot of them want to, man, they want to hear that fluff, man. Like, I ain't down with it. Like, I'm a big up when they do something right, but I ain't about to sit up here and just fake the funk, man. And I know there's a lot of people like this within that organization, on that PR team, that watch what I do. I don't care. I'm a stand on business. And if that means I ain't never going to be looked at as credentialed down there in New Orleans, I'm cool with that. I'm credentialed everywhere else. So I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So
I love it, man.
Hey, what it is. But Mick, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the call, man. It's always great to chop it up with you. Feel free to call back anytime, man. I want to get to these other callers, bro.
Man, definitely, man. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, man.
All right, you take it easy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to Mick, man. Like, I mean, a lot of valid points, but man, ain't no faking the funk over here, man. Ain't no faking the funk over here. You know, that's why, like, man, I feel so fake, so phony if I just sit up here and just told y'all, you know, that some of that BS that I be hearing at times. Like, I feel so bad, man. I'm serious. I would feel so bad be sitting up there. I don't even think I'll be able to sleep at night. Like, that's how much passion that I have behind what I'm doing. So that's why, like, when people, you know, say stuff like, oh man, you ain't this, you ain't that. Like, dude, I ain't trying to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's rather we gonna make it this way where we being honest and straightforward and keep it a buck. And we ain't gonna make it at all. I think I'm doing all right. I think we doing all right over here on this channel, man. We doing pretty doggone good, man. Don't we have a lot of fun? I have a lot of fun doing these episodes. So that's all that matters to me, man. But they have got to do better. And look, the jury's still out on the draft picks. I like some of the decision making that they made. Number one, gonna give them credit. Like, just like we criticize, we got to give them credit. They stayed in their respective spots and they drafted all 9 players. They didn't bundle them up. They ain't try to move up. They ain't try to change nothing around. They kept it. They kept it across the board. And they picked players that have been extremely productive, played in college for a long time, you know, and also made some plays. And this is how you're going to build your football team, not highly touted free agents. Oh, we need this dude, that dude. You know, you can sprinkle a little bit of Keenan Allen over here, maybe sprinkle a little bit of Amari Cooper over here. But, you know, like, build your team, trust your process. But if that process ain't working, I would like to hope that the New Orleans Saints would do something different in order for them to be able to generate some levels of success. Because you can't keep on like hitting your head against a brick wall and not expecting to bleed. It's only a matter of time. Let's go ahead to Jordan. Jordan, how you doing, man?
What's up, TJ?
Hey, man. Thanks for calling, man. It's been a while. Glad to hear from you, Jordan.
Anytime, I appreciate it, man. I missed the football season. I ain't gonna lie to you. It don't be nothing to do on weekends, man.
Not at
My
all.
favorite YouTube live.
Hey, man. Look, I look, my weekends be kind of full between going to church and Paxton with all these extracurriculars, man. So, I mean, but yeah, I do miss football, man. I mean, but this has been a very event-filled offseason for the New Orleans Saints, man. I mean, one I ain't never seen since I've been doing podcasting. But what are your thoughts, man? We've been talking about different things. We talk about Derek Carr. We talk about Tyler Shough. Go in any direction you want to, man. The floor is yours.
So, can I answer the question you have, which is if he goes start, and then I want to get into 2 points.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So basically, I think it's a 60% chance that Spencer starts, and it's a 40% chance that he starts.
Right.
Now, to all of the Who Dat Nation, would a quarterback battle be fair? Probably not, because Tyler is Kellen Moore's guy, right? So if he's within the margin of error, I'm talking like 85% of what Spencer Rattler is, he's gonna get the starting position.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm banking on Spencer Rattler learning from his mistakes from last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's not even the story.
Mm-hmm.
The real story is it's the management on the same page. Because
Elaborate.
all the moves that they made said they not.
Mm.
So Derek Carr was Dennis Allen's and Mickey Loomis's guy for sure. Tyler, he's Kellen Moore's guy. Who gave the okay to draft Spencer Rattler? That's the real question.
Mm.
Because it's starting to look like Gail Benson swooped in and made them draft him.
Mm.
That's what it's starting to feel like. Because you have to realize when Kellen Moore came in, what did he say? Spencer Rattler looked good. It's some stuff that we could build off of with him. Then Mickey came out and said, well, Derek Carr will be the starter if he's healthy. And then Kellen Moore came back and said, well, we've been looking at Tyler for months. And now, they making the Who Dat Nation guess who gonna be the quarterback.
Hmm. So you think
yeah.
what you're saying is, Jordan, you feel like there's like a clash between Tyler Shough, Derek Carr, and Spencer Rattler, based on like, and each one of those respected quarterbacks has a higher up like trying to lobby for him. Is that correct?
Absolutely, because you have to realize the only reason why Mickey Loomis is still here is because he's in the will. It's literally in the will for him to be the GM. So it's starting to look like Gail Benson seen the writing on the wall that Dennis Allen was going to hit the wall, and she wanted a contingency plan with Spencer Rattler.
This is what, okay, Jordan, hold that thought. This is what I feel, okay? I feel like you're on to something when it comes to like certain things. I do feel that Gail Benson intervened in two situations. Number one, firing Dennis Allen. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind that if it was up to Mickey Loomis, Dennis Allen, no head coaching tail, would still be head coaching this football team right now as we speak. Gail Benson intervened. But what did they say? They said that she met with her trust and she met with some players. This is my thing. That trust probably told Gail Benson, well, like they probably keep up with the pulse of the Who Dat Nation. They probably the ones that's focused on the analytics. They probably the ones that's monitoring social media. And they probably told her about Spencer Rattler. Thus the reason, if you looked at the depth chart of the New Orleans Saints, who was it? It was Derek Carr. Who was his backup? It wasn't Spencer Rattler.
It was
It
Hayner.
was Jake Hayner. And then all of a sudden, Derek Carr gets hurt. Jake Hayner goes to the back of the line and they bring in Spencer Rattler. But what was the excuse that they gave us? They said, well, Jake is the emergency quarterback because his skill set is similar to that of Derek Carr. Man, that's some BS. That's some BS. You know what I'm saying? If Jake Hayner was if that much better than Spencer Rattler, then I don't care. Like Jake Hayner would have started. I think that they understood the pulse of the Who Dat Nation, and they knew that the Who Dat Nation, for the most part, wanted to see Spencer Rattler. And the season was just basically going haywire, losing all them football games, and they wanted to keep people coming. So what did they do? They gave him Spencer Rattler. So, yes, I do feel like he probably was her favorite, or, you know what I'm saying, somebody that she was counting on because she understood the fan base wanted to see him. But, you know, but yeah, the whole power struggle when it comes to it, yeah, man, this is Kellen Moore drafted Tyler Shough, and that's the guy I'm pretty sure that he wants to rock with. No disrespect to Spencer Rattler, but that's just the way that it goes, man. These coaches that get hired, they want to go with their guy.
And that's the thing, though, TJ. If Kellen Moore wants to go with Tyler, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe everybody should get behind him. But
Mm-hmm.
we also have to take a step back and look at Kellen Moore, because it seemed to me that he's playing three sides.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is he's also said that Derek Carr would be the starter.
Mm-hmm.
He said Spencer Rattler had a lot of promise.
Right.
And then you came out and said, well, we've been looking at Tyler for months, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to do this thing where, okay, I'm not gonna say who my guy is, so I could go with either or. But what's gonna end up happening is he's gonna fracture the team into three. And before he even get to take a hold of the ship, it's gonna be broke.
Here's the thing. I can see a scenario in that happening, but this is the one thing that he has going for him.
Mm-hmm.
If Kellen Moore can help this football team offensively be any better than they were last year, then anything that he does, people gonna get on board with. Everything is like relying on him being able to go out here and turning this thing around. If Tyler, let's just say if he chooses Tyler Shough, right? If he chooses Tyler Shough and Tyler Shough plays well, guess what the team gonna do? They gonna jump in line. These guys just want to win at the end of the day. Man, these dudes just want to make sure that all this hard work, all this dedication ain't in vain. Like, if I'm open, throw me the freaking ball. You know what I'm saying? If like open a lane up if I'm a running back so I can hit my head on the goalpost. So if you are coaching and getting these guys in a position to succeed, they don't care who the quarterback is. Honestly, football is a political game. It is, man. Like, I'm telling, like, Mick made a very interesting point, and it was a while ago, but I'm telling you, go back and look at the State of Saints podcast archives when I talked to Rasheed Matthews. Like, I think it's in the interviews playlist that I have. Like, he talked about that, man. He talked about, like, him making plays and him looking better, you know what I'm saying, than, you know, their first round pick wide receiver, but it was the politics. Like, politics plays a huge role. Like, he is I'm talking Tyler Shough, going to get ample opportunities to shine. Good, bad, and different, because they have to validate that second round pick. Spencer Rattler was a 5th round pick drafted by a whole different regime. He was a 5th round pick, number one, but it was an old regime that we as fans have already accepted and said it wasn't good enough. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I like Spencer Rattler a lot, but I've seen a lot of football, and I've talked to a lot of people, been blessed to talk to a lot of people that work inside the league, and they'll tell you like about like some of these things that these teams do in order for them to try to save face. And the Saints are no different. That's one of the main reasons why I feel like they aren't finding success, because they try to gaslight a lot of situations and make us feel like we're wrong for the feelings that we have, but we know what you're doing isn't working.
So let me ask you this though, TJ. So if Kellen Moore comes out, he say, okay, Tyler is our guy. He's our guy. Do you see a scenario where they ship out Carr and Spencer just in order to, you know?
No, I don't think there's a scenario in which they will ship out Spencer Rattler. Like I think that Spencer Rattler is pretty safe. Because like I said, number one, Spencer Rattler is liked among Saints fans, but it's not to a point where, oh, you know what I'm saying, we live and die by the cat. You know what I'm saying? He started in 6 games, but he still didn't win no games. You know, like he didn't make himself undeniable. Like I think about like Joe Milton, right? Joe Milton, he played for the Patriots, and they drafted Drake May with a top 5 pick. I think they picked him like 2nd or 3rd or something, right? He goes to New England, but Joe Milton was out there balling. You know what I'm saying? Like moving around in the pocket, showing elusivity, flick of the wrist, 60-yard bomb down the field. That can be a threat, dude. Like we're seeing this, right? We seeing this dude move around the pocket, you know what I'm saying? Like showing all these flashy moves, and Drake May end up like, let's just say he keep on getting hurt or he throws interceptions. Guess what? People gonna be clamoring for him. When it comes to like Spencer Rattler, for better or for worse, I feel like it's unfair. But when we saw him, it wasn't like it was world changing. It wasn't like it was needle moving. So there's still a place for Tyler Shough because there are question marks at the quarterback position. Now, if Spencer Rattler went out there and balled the heck out in most of those games, then I think that everybody would pretty much be talking about Spencer Rattler and what are we talking about? But right now, you got yourself a quarterback competition.
Yeah. And then the last thing I say is, they had a hell of a draft. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, a lot of talent.
I believe this to go prove to be the best draft we'd have had in years.
Yeah.
And me personally, I'm higher on the people that they took in the later rounds than the first couple of rounds, even though Kelvin Banks and all that's important.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I thought like what's his name? Fidel Diggs and
Oh, yeah.
Devin Neal and I think they're gonna have
Yeah.
a big impact.
Yeah. I think Fidel Diggs is going to be a talented guy. I think he probably going to have to work his way up, through special teams. But I think that this is a guy who is relentless. He has a motor that stays running. And he also like that new hybrid edge rusher we've been talking about for a long time. I just think that he just symbolizes a culture change and something that we wanted to see, which you're seeing from these 3-4 defenses that's led by guys like TJ Watt and what the Philadelphia Eagles have. I think that is something that Saints fans should be excited about. I just want to see some of these guys be able to get to the quarterback and they find consistency doing so. So I like that. And I definitely like Devin Neal. I already spoke about that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let you go because I've been on a long time. But
No,
I
you're
have
right.
a question about the tight end room. Have you
Mm-hmm.
heard anything about what's Dallin Holker? What's the
Nah.
status on him?
Nah, I haven't heard anything about Dallin Holker. As far as I'm concerned, like I feel like he probably on that block, man. Like I don't know, man. I don't know what it was. Him coming out of Colorado State, I thought there might have been something there. I think that maybe, maybe this could be like a competition where, he ends up finding himself on the field. Like, who knows, man? But I don't know, man. You got to make yourself undeniable. It goes back to what I just said. You got to make yourself undeniable in those opportunities that you get, whether they're slim to monumental. Like you got to be able to take advantage of it. And Dallin Holker, I've seen him on the field a couple of times, but got to be able to do some of the things that you need to do in order for you to see the field. I don't know, man, but maybe a new fresh start. And a coach in Kellen Moore that likes to utilize tight ends, maybe we can finally see what this guy can do. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a larger sample size of him in training camp and also in preseason. So he has to take advantage of these opportunities.
Well, I appreciate that, TJ. That's all I got.
Oh, man, Jordan, thank you so much, man, for chiming in, and call back anytime.
10-4. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, man. Look, there was a lot to unpack there from Jordan. I mean, he made a lot of valid points. Is there a struggle going on airline? But I think that Gail Benson just understood where the Saints were at the time, and she probably intervened. And I think that she played a huge role in Spencer Rattler getting the opportunity to play in front of the Saints fans in a starting role. And I don't think that was a bad idea. I mean, we have to understand that football is a business as well. Like it's competition, and it entertains us, but it's also a business, man. And if nobody's showing up to the games, you ain't making no bread. So we gonna do what it takes. If we gonna suck and we gonna stink and we ain't make no playoffs anyway, let's at least get some guys that represent the future that fans may be excited about on the field. We're gonna go to Jamie G. G, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, my brother? What's good?
Man, we good, man. And for those that don't know, man, this is Jamie G. This is my frat brother right here, man. We crossed Iota Phi Theta together, spring 07, back at Jackson State University, man. One of my best friends in the world here. Thanks for chiming in, man. Look, he's a big time Jacksonville Jaguars fan, but he got his ear to the Saints too, man. So what you got
I
for
rock with the Saints, man? At first they made me mad during the draft, but I had to come on back, man. I'm gonna come
why
on
they made
back.
you mad, G?
I gotta rock with the dome, man.
Man, why they made you mad, man? With the
you know
Saints?
how it is with these
The
picks,
Saints?
man. You know how they be.
Yeah,
They had me going sometime, man. But
mhm.
but I was kind of listening to the commentary with the quarterback situation, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that dude a shot, man. I'm gonna see what he
Okay.
can do, and hopefully he could be the one that really, take the Saints to where they are. I mean, don't lie, he really can spin it.
Mm-hmm.
But I like for the Saints, man, if they possible, to look at some of them guys in the UFL,
Mm-hmm.
because that quarterback for Houston and the Michigan Panthers, if I'm correct, man, them dudes balling over there, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, I mean, a lot of these guys, in the UFL, they get those opportunities, man, and they take advantage of it. And the best thing about it is, I see a lot of these guys, and with the XFL, and also, during the time before they even made this merger, you've seen these players getting opportunities to be able to come into some of these camps, and some of them even made these teams. So yeah, I mean, you got to put your scouts out there. You got to constantly evaluate. But G, I think the Saints quarterback situation, to me, I just think that it's time. I mean, we talked about this before. Tyler Shough, the highest drafted quarterback they had since 1971, bro. They have not even had a first round quarterback since 1971 with Archie Manning. That's insane, bro. And think about this. Think about how trash. Like we like to have, like, some of y'all young folks that remember the Saints and Drew Brees most of your life. The Saints weren't like that. The Saints were garbage for a long time, and you only had one starting. I mean, first round draft pick quarterback. That's insane, man. So to me, I just think that if the Tyler Shough experience doesn't work, and I'm not saying that it won't, you got to keep on. You got to go to the draft, man. You finally got to go get Garrett Nussmeier or something. You know what I'm saying? Like one of these guys that's in college that's out there that's showing you that they got first round talent. But some of these backups, I definitely like in the UFL, like some of these guys that come in, I definitely feel like they need to get opportunities. And I'm glad that they actually getting the spotlight put on them, man. I mean, a lot of these guys, I've actually seen play. You'd rather just be at the Senior Bowl. I can remember Max Duggan, at the Senior Bowl, and what he did at when he was in college at TCU. So I mean, they got some guys that's out there, man, that they just need that opportunity. They probably just need some reps too, So I just think that it's a combination of, of a lot of things. But yeah, what are your thoughts on just the draft in general? Okay, I mean, feel free, you can talk about the Jaguars too, but looking at the Saints, man, I mean, were you shocked that the New Orleans Saints didn't move no draft picks?
No, not at all. I think they just try to stick to their guns and. They had some pretty good. They was in a pretty good slot, in my opinion, when it came to the draft. I don't think they had to really do much moving or whatever, and that was a good thing. So but like what I'm saying, my Jags, we gave up so much for Travis Hunter, so we gonna lose, like, I think, a future first rounder and I want to say a second or third round pick. So yeah, we gave up in order to move up and get Hunter. But hopefully that's the best move, because if not, whoo.
Man, okay, so do you think that Travis Hunter gonna be as advertised for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I think he's gonna be I think he's gonna be good for us.
But here's the thing, and shouts out to Shazam. He pretty much said it in the chat. He said you got two players though. So if you get a guy who can play the offensive side of football as a wide receiver and also play the defensive side as a corner, if you lose, like, these draft picks, it's basically like you gain two. I guess that's the way the Falcons were looking at it. You know, like when they got Jalen Walker, they got James Pierce Jr. I guess they're looking at it the same way. So they gave up their first round draft pick next year. So maybe that's the way that they're looking at it, man. So I don't know. Like, I still got question marks about Travis Hunter, man. I'm serious. Like, I think he's talented. I think he's good, but I also feel like I just feel like a lot of press kind of like elevated him, to upper stratosphere. Like being around Deion Sanders, being around Shedeur, being at Colorado, who became high profile, because we seen him a lot. You know what I'm saying? From the time you were playing at our alma mater and when him playing, 2 years at Colorado. It's not like he didn't get smoked. I remember him out there getting cut. I mean, getting cut up and burnt up by Southern wide receivers.
And a lot of people forget about when Montario Hunt, man, he burnt them in that Alcorn game. I'm talking about he really did. Montario Hunt really did Travis Hunter bad, and I'm surprised that Montario didn't get many NFL looks after that game, because I'm talking about, bruh. Montario Hunt was a real dog in the SWAC, and that Rob McDaniel had an opportunity too to cover him as well. So and Rob McDaniel to sign an undrafted free agent contract with the Washington Commanders, and hopefully he can come to the Saints.
I like Rob.
Rob McDaniel, he's that prototypical safety you're looking for. But my only question with Hunter, man, is can he stay healthy? Because I don't think he just played a whole complete season. If my calculations right, but as long as he can stay healthy, man, and be able to go both ways, I think he could be a good player. It probably more offensive snaps than defensive snaps, but there's nothing wrong with having with a key player like that,
Yeah, I don't think nothing. Like, I don't think he's gonna be a bad player. I just don't feel like people making it. This gives me Reggie Bush vibes. Like Reggie Bush when he got drafted coming out of USC back in 2006, and he got drafted to the Saints, and everybody just thought that he was just going to change the NFL, and NFL was never going to be the same. Like, yeah, he was good. He was talented, but he wasn't like how he was at USC. And I think that's the same way with Travis Hunter. And like I mentioned, man, I just got question marks. I can remember even a wide receiver out of Stanford, was an Ayermanner. Like, he was tearing them up. Like, it was so bad that they had to take Travis off him. Like that I'm telling you. And Tedoroy McMillan got the best of him a couple of times. So it's not like he just locked down. I'm not saying that the dude ain't gonna work out. I just said, I just think that sometimes you have these larger than life college players come into the league, and people just think that they just gonna change the game so much, and I just think they just gonna end up being being good, but not in a way that a lot of people anticipate. I think he's gonna be a solid player. I just question if he's gonna be like all pro, multi-time Pro Bowler, flirting with the Hall of Fame. I just got to see it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's a fair assessment. It was a lot of guys that he had problems with, definitely with those bigger receivers, what I'm saying? Because was his frame, but hopefully Jacksonville with the coaching, hopefully that we had the right coaching style.
Leg day, bro. Leg day.
Yeah, be able to.
Leg day. my boy legs look like baseball bats, man. He got to beef up, man. He got to get in that strength and that conditioning in there, man. Like you can't
if
be out there.
if not on defense, definitely on from a wide receiver, man. I think
you
got a real gift at a wide out though.
Oh yeah. I think honestly, I think he'll be better in the NFL as a wide receiver than he would as a corner. I think that he can be in there in spots, but I don't think that you just need to completely commit to him playing both sides. I don't know, man. I think you're gonna get a solid player. I have to have a cause to pause when I talk about generational, man. But yeah, my final question for you, man. Since look, I know you love HBCU football, man. So give us a storyline, man, that you're looking forward to, man, going into like the season, spring. Like what you looking at, man?
Biggest storyline in HBCU football is can FAMU and Bama State knock Jackson State off that horse? Because they look like they're gonna be the favorite to win the SWAC again and possibly the Celebration Bowl. But other than that, man, hey, I think I believe whoever wins the SWAC, he's gonna be the winner whole SWAC anyway. So
right. Look, I'm being biased here, but hopefully Jackson State be able to go back to Atlanta. I don't think neither one of us would be upset about that. But
not back to back a dynasty.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Look, I ain't got no problem with that at all, man. Just pay TC Taylor, make sure he don't walk. Keep him there. You know what I'm saying? Let him be there, like shoot, like Eddie Robinson and them, and you know what I'm saying, and Richardson and all them other dudes that been there. They just sat like they just shifting down there. You know what I'm saying? Can't run no more. They just walking. You know what I'm saying? Like they just he'll be there winning so much they have to drive him on a golf cart down to the sideline. I ain't got no problem with it. But thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure to chop it up with you. Know you love sports just as much as I do, and call back anytime, man. Appreciate it.
For sure.
All right, man. Yeah, shouts out to my boy G, man. Go back, man. Nearly 20 years of friendship right there. Probably is 20 years. Like what we met 2005. Yeah, it's 20 years of friendship right there, man. Shouts out to my boy G, man. Happy the Saints kept all 9 picks in the draft. That's the formula to win, is to build through the draft. I agree with that. 100%. 100%. With Neil being drafted, I guess Kendre Miller writing is on the wall. Talent everywhere, but never healthy. I just feel bad because I know what's about to happen. I know he's going to end up going somewhere. The light going to come on. Chip going to be on shoulder. He's going to end up being pretty solid for some other team. But I don't have an issue with that. I want to see this man find prosperity. You would hate to see him go out there and show those flashes and that potential on another team. But sometimes those guys need that wake-up call, man. Sometimes they got to realize that the NFL does indeed stand for, at times, not for long. You got to be able to take advantage of these opportunities because the work that you ain't putting in, there's a player that's in the league right now or a college player that's going to be coming into the league next year that's going to want to put in that same level of work. I mean, probably no, they're going to want to put in more work. They're going to burn that midnight oil to be the absolute best. So, man, you got to always stay on your toes. Once you think that you got it figured out, you don't. So, I don't know, man. I like Kendre Miller. I still do. I still believe in the dude. Rather it's with the Saints or someone else, I think that people are going to remember his name as long as he just stays dialed in, man. You got to appreciate the moments that you're in the National Football League. You know, you really do, man. But you also got to understand, man, everybody can't make it. And you're part of a very few individuals that were good enough to be able to be a part of that elite fraternity. Yo, thank you very much for $2. Says salute, TJ. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that, man. The Funk, thank you very much for $2. Says don't be faking us. And then got Keen Arthur says, TJ, I'm excited to see Rattler with a healthy team. I'm just excited to see what this team is going to be. I know there's a lot of people anticipating storylines, and I'm excited about this, man. I'm actually, and I'm excited to mention this, starting next week, I'm launching my new sports publication, State of the Saints. And I'm going to be writing articles, and I'm also going to be posting episodes of the State of the Saints podcast, including clips, because I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. Most of it, consists of like gumbo pot, because I was focusing on Coastal Carolina. Gonna probably take a step back from that this season. Kind of just focus on the NFL and also the New Orleans Saints. So I'm gonna be like writing articles and stuff like that. It's gonna be my own publication. I like I said, I am a media member. You know what I'm saying? I'm credentialed in the state of South Carolina, and also National Association of Black Journalists. I'm very proud of that. So I'm start doing some writing, man, and I'm going to be fair, but I'm also going to be giving my assessment and my take on it. So may not be everybody's cup of tea, but gonna make sure that we write these articles, gonna make sure that we keep you guys up to date. So I'm just asking everybody to support me. That's gonna be coming out starting this Monday. That's the reason why I'm behind the scenes, and I've been really just doing research on different players, and also just looking at film and all these other little things that I feel like I want to bring to the publication. All right. So when I get that started, I just hope that everybody checks it out. Let me know if I'm tripping. Let me know if I'm good at what I'm doing. So yeah. Yeah, Slim TJ shirt, didn't notice. Yeah, man. Yeah, my shirt. Yeah. Yeah, man. This is the Nipsey Hussle t-shirt, man. Nipsey Hussle t-shirt, pretty cool design here. Shouts out to the company that sent me this. Man, shouts out to Real Apparel, man. Shouts out to them. Sent me this shirt, and thought it was pretty dope, man. They sent me shirt Marvin Gaye, and also Show Enough from The Last Dragon, man. So yeah, but I just thought that would be cool to bust out this shirt, man. I think it was a pretty cool design. So shouts out to them, man. Real Apparel. Says, did y'all see Tyler Shough saying he's willing to die in the field for the Who Dat Nation? Well, I don't take him literally, but I like the energy, and I think it was James Corbetta who said this. He said, I mean, it's much better this than saying that the first place that you ate at was Chipotle. I guess that is right. I think he tweeted that, but yeah, I mean, that's how you win over the Who Dat Nation. Like people, the Who Dat Nation just wants to know that you're gonna ride for them, and they will ride for you. Like it's just that simple. I keep saying this, and I'm going to continue to say it, and I just hope that people just give me credit that they be saying this stuff. Like if you're gonna watch the show, like at least give your boy some credit. If you love New Orleans, it will love you back. If you love New Orleans, it will love you back. If you show this loyalty to New Orleans, if you show this loyalty to the Saints, Gulf Coast, all across the Gulf, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole line going to just be like, nah, we done with you, bro. We done with you. For real. You know what I'm saying? From Ponchatoula to Picayune, they be like, nah, bro, we done with you. Like seriously, New Orleans folks, they not impressed by like superstardom. They just not. Like if they feel like you up here, like you feel like you up here, and you feel like they down here, they ain't gonna mess with you, bro. I don't care. Like the paparazzi can be chasing after your limousine, your car service, man. They're gonna be like, who is that? Oh, okay, whatever. He fake. They don't care. Like people just want loyalty. In a Who Dat Nation, they want loyalty. If you don't show that, they won't ride with you. I don't care what it is. Just ride for us is more than a game. Shouts out to Jono. Treat it as such. We will love you for it. Yeah, man. Shouts out to Jono, man. Jono Bars. Shouts out to him and his family, man. As his family grows, I know his wife, him, they're expecting a child, man. That's an amazing time, man. Those are amazing moments. Scary, but amazing nonetheless, man. So shouts out to him, man. Really funny guy, really talented guy. Him and Holder Mayo, funny, man. Funny dudes. Hilarious, man. They do great work. But shouts out to those guys. Loyal sister Western Division champs at Jim Moore. Boy, you've been rocking for a long time, boy. That man said the NFC West. Some of y'all don't know what they talking about. The Saints was in the West. Yes, they were. 49ers, Rams. Yeah, bro. Shoot. That was the Saints was in the NFC West. We all know that, you know, the way that the NFL's like AFC and NFC aligned are just straight up BS. Like they like, come on. How are the Cowboys in the NFC East? Seriously. What is East about Dallas? Like, seriously, like what like you got Washington, DC, New York, and Philadelphia. And then you gotta go to Dallas. Like, give me a freaking break. Just say, okay, man, we wanted to keep the nostalgia going. We wanted to keep these rivalries going. The old NFC West, yeah. I'm young. I ain't been a Saints fan since 2018. Was a Lions fan before. Well, I'm gonna say this, man. If you're willing to say that you was a Lion fan before 2018, bro, you deserve. You true to the game because the Lions wasn't winning nothing. Now they one of the best teams in the league. So, yeah. Well, you say the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Let's see. You might as well go back to the line for real. Shoot, you picked the wrong time to go to the Lions. I mean, to turn away from the Lions. Shoot, that was about prime Saints right there. With 2018, that was what the Nolan no call right there. And that man showed up prime Saints. Saints ain't been the same since, man. That man showed up. Hey, that man showed up. They only had a little bit of Kool-Aid in that bowl. They had a little bit of chips in that. Yo, went to a party, showed up late, and you know what I'm saying, everybody had the Kool-Aid and a punch. You know what I'm saying? You like you scooping from the bottom of the bowl. You like, man, what else they got up there? That's how homie showed up to the Saints. What else they got up there? Everybody else then left with the go bags. You man, you should have stayed. Man, you should have stayed. That man showed up late, boy. Oh man. I appreciate the honesty, but my goodness, bro, I would have stayed over there right now, bro. At least till we figured it out. You know what I'm saying? When the next party gonna show up? When the next party gonna be? Man, TJ, what you think about the Falcons DC leaking Shadur number? Another reason to troll the Falcons, man. The only thing that would have made that great, and I mentioned this on social media, so I'm pretty sure some of you know where I'm going with this. If Shadur Sanders would have got drafted by the Saints, my goodness, those storylines would have wrote themselves. They would have wrote themselves, you know. But I already told y'all, man. I said on last episode, I kind of knew what it was, man. I was like, man, it's probably some kid that a coach's kid, probably ain't got no problem. Like, okay, I get kicked out of school, my daddy gonna get me a job. I can go work at the quality control room or something, you know. Man, all I know is this world of the clout chase is destroying a lot of people. Like the desperation to matter, like it's just unbelievable, man. Like people are willing to do anything that it takes to just matter for 15 minutes. Oh, you know, like I always say this, man. I don't want to be famous. I want to be infamous. I want to be known for something. Like when I close my eyes and I'm 6 feet deep, I want to be known for something. Like other than, oh man, that was just that dude he did that viral clip. Like I love the fact that I've done 1,700 episodes and I have a 5-year-old son who starting to understand what his daddy does for a living and what he does here. But when he gets older, he can go back and take a look and see the things that his father has done, right? On wax, not just something, you know what I'm saying? And be proud of it. Like some people, they just man, if I can get that one viral clip, I can get that one viral moment. I'm telling y'all right now, as somebody that has had like hundreds of thousands of people like retweets or retweet video, like, man, that don't mean anything at the end of the day. Like, like I said, I want to be infamous. I want to be known for something, like something that matters, something that's beneficial. I always tell people, and I won't end it on this. I'll read a few other comments before we go. But I always tell people, like, people ask me, like, what really got me into broadcasting. There are several other things, like, the great Jim Henderson, Hokey guy John May, he rest in peace, Buddy Delaverto, those guys that I remember listening to, Frank Davis, on the Powwow on WWL. But all I'm saying is, it was one thing in particular that always stuck out to me, and it was Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite on November 22nd, 1963, when he announced to the entire world that John F. Kennedy got assassinated. And people don't even understand this. Walter Cronkite wasn't the first person to tell the world or America that he was assassinated. But the way that he did it, the impact of how he did it, reigns in the ears and the minds of people that watch that clip. And it was at that moment, looking at stuff like that, it's like, that is why I'd rather be infamous than famous. Anybody can walk down the street these days and, oh man, you known for this and known for that. But I want to be known for forever, for, doing what I love to do and be passionate about it. But long story short, you shouldn't put yourself in that type of situation. That was somebody that was just thought that they could make a moment. Oh, people are this gonna be viral. I'm gonna be known for this forever. And this, like, nobody gonna remember this. Like, this is like the world is like a super speedway. We gonna care about it for about that month, about that long, and then all of a sudden, something else is gonna direct our attention. So, what do you want to do? Like, you want to be famous, 15 minutes, 15 seconds, or do you want to be infamous, 15 years, 15 decades? That's where I want to be. That's why I feel like you should want to be. Don't just try to sell yourself out for 15 minutes, man. Love what you do, passionate about what you do, and think about it, man. It's like, is this something that's people won't be talking about 10 years from now, 15 years from now? See, that's what you want. But yeah, I thought it was sad. TJ, what are your expectations for our defense this year so far? Well, I think you might go through some growing pains, but I think that you're going to see some splashes from individuals that you probably wouldn't have thought would make an impact. Like, I think that this new scheme might help out a lot of guys that have been around this team. Like, I'm looking to see if Isaiah Foskey going to be able to step up and make some plays. And I think that maybe this scheme is going to be able to benefit him, or at least it should. I think that they'll probably set him up in a position to succeed. And also, just some of these younger guys, man, some of these younger, talented, guys that are going to be coming in. I think that, coming in when the New Orleans Saints are switching over and starting new, this is new to them. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know about the old regime. Like, so they should be able to really be dialed in and be focused on this. And everybody on defense is basically on a same level. Everybody's learning a new defense. TJ, you know about the who that's, and that's all that matters to me. I was born and raised in New Orleans, and there's nothing that gives me more pride than, creating content for a team that represents a city that I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that gives me, man, give me so much pride, So the Falcons were NFC West and the Cowboys are NFC East. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, if we realign but I understand why they don't do it. They just don't want to get away from them rivalries. Those rivalries, the ones that be, like creating the ratings. So they feel like if the alignments make sense, that means that, you probably won't get as many Cowboy Eagles games, right? So, they love that. Let's see. I think we definitely will be better with stopping the run. I think so too. You got that beef up front with Devin Shough. I think that's a start. That Hatua girl thought it was gonna be forever. I mean, she made her money and dipped, but that nobody gonna be talking about that 10 years from now. I mean, so take advantage of that if that's what you own, but not gonna last forever. TJ, who you got for a free agent wide receiver? Keenan Allen. Makes sense to me. Keenan Allen, a veteran, 6'4", 213. Got some familiarity there when it comes to Brandon Staley being his coach. So why the heck not? And also Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore was his offensive coordinator. Makes sense to me. I mean, Brandon Staley, Kellen Moore. Need I say more? That's probably the most. That's probably the most sensible one. And like I said, man, I'm not looking for prime Keenan Allen. All right, I'm not looking for that. Right? I mean, just give me a 50-50 ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, just give me some wily veteran moves. Right? Yeah, like you're 32. Like, nobody expect for Keenan Allen to be prime Keenan Allen. But give me a couple catches. You know what I'm saying? Give me about 40 catches. I can roll with that. 35, 40 catches. I don't need too much. Impactful plays. I don't need that. Because that's what Shaheed and Olave and them for. Give me that. And you can figure out the next 6'4", 215 guy that can be your generational talent in the next draft. If you can't find them through undrafted free agency or on the team with Bud Means, So TJ, the Saints this year are the sleeper team, just like the Commanders. What do you think? Well, you mean where? Where do you think? Okay. All I know is when you start, every team is 0-0. And we all have our speculations. We all have our thoughts and our views. And a lot of our thoughts and views are based on what the team did last season. But, if the Saints got the right coach, got the right scheme defensively with the right coordinator, they can win football games. I don't think it's out of the realm of the possibility that the Saints end up exceeding expectations. But what are expectations? What, 5 wins? Like, you can't win 6, can't win 6. Like, come on, man. That's beating at least everybody in the division one time and beating 3 more teams. Like, come on, man. Like, you can do that, I hope. If you can't do that, and some heads definitely need to roll up top. Alfred, thank you very much for the $4.99. Said, what's your favorite Saints game, win or loss? Mine was the playoff game 2011 versus San Francisco. Yeah, that was a good game. Heartbreaking, but a good game nonetheless. Now, my favorite Saints game, I'll give you a few of them, man. I'll give a few of them. I'll go back in the history books for this one. It's a game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Some of y'all know where I'm going with this. All those laterals. I think Jerome Payton dives into the end zone for a touchdown, and John Carney shanks the field goal. And this was when field goals were pretty much a gimme, and he just shanked it. I mean, he had a high percentage when it comes to made field goals, and he shanked that joint. That was probably a memorable game. Another memorable game, they lost this one. The Halloween game versus the Cleveland Browns. Tim Couch throws a Hail Mary down the field, and they lose. And Mike Dicker just spread out on the field, man, just completely dejected. I know some of y'all like, man, damn, some of your best games, they lost. Well, wasn't much winning growing up when I was a kid. You got to get in where you fit in. I would have to say, okay, another memorable game. Prime time, Sunday Night Football, when Joe Horn went off for 3 touchdowns and the historical moment where he pulled the cell phone out. That was a pretty cool game. Another game, they end up losing this game. I don't know how the heck they did this. Monday Night Football versus the Minnesota Vikings, when Reggie Bush lost his freaking mind, almost returned 3 punt returns for a touchdown, but had 2. Played the game of his life, and the Saints still lost that game. I don't know how they lost that game. I don't. Moving forward, I would have to say the game where everybody realized that the New Orleans Saints were for real. There was the game back in 2009 when they played against the New England Patriots, and they beat the brakes off the New England Patriots. I'm talking about that game got so bad they benched Tom Brady. Like, that's when everybody realized that the Saints were for real. They ended up going to the Super Bowl that year, but that's when everybody, like, the whole world realized like they was like a legit football team. So that was a memorable game. Trying to see, moving forward. I agree with you with that 2011 San Francisco game. That was a really good game. It is just unfortunate that they lost. I actually, like, for different reasons, man, I gotta give credit. Like, RG3's first game, man, he went out there and just lit the Saints up. I mean, from like, I know that was like a game they lost, but it was just like, man, he was just so spectacular that game. So that was back in 2012. I like the game, of course, when the Saints played against the New York Giants, when Eli and Drew went off, right? I think Drew threw for 7 touchdowns. Eli Manning threw for 6. Defense just decided to call off work that day for both teams. But that was an exciting game if you're into, like, you know, high scoring games. And I think Marcus Murphy was the one who ended up helping the Saints win that game in overtime. But that was a good game. I'm just calling some out now. Of course, the Washington game where Alvin Kamara's rookie year, Saints came back with about 5 minutes left in the game. 2018 Saints versus Rams. Michael Thomas paying homage to Joe Horn, pulling out that cell phone. Outside of the Nola no call, the NFC Championship game where they lost, even though that was heartbreaking, should have been in the Super Bowl. Drew Brees on Monday Night Football where he broke the passing record. I won't say so much about the touchdown record when he broke that. That was against, I want to say, the Baltimore Ravens when he did that. No, was it? No, it was against Indianapolis. I'm sorry. I mean, they tore them up. But yeah, man, those are a few games I can just think of, you know, just in the memory banks. I'm pretty sure there's a couple, you know, that I could think about a little bit further back, but you know, I try to suppress those memories. It was bad, boy. It was bad. I'm telling you, like, you start talking about good games the Saints won. Yeah, AK game with 6 touchdowns. That was on Christmas Day a couple of years ago. Isaac Akeem fumbled that punt in 2000. Yeah, I was at that game, Slim. I was at that game. Me and my Uncle Jerry. Shouts out to my Uncle Jerry, man. He went with me. That was the time, man. It was so cool. I think we ended up like getting those tickets. Shouts out to Coach Charles Alexander from the Fellowship Boys organization when I was growing up as a kid. We ended up getting these tickets, and man, it was so cool, man, because we was able to sit in a luxury box. And I still remember them chicken tenders, man. Them chicken tenders were good, man. But we was able to watch the Saints win from a luxury box. So that was pretty cool. That's a memory that always going to kind of stick out to me. Look at a few more and then we get out of here. Remember the 2007 opening night against the Colts? Peyton Manning lit up Jason Day. Oh, man, did he light him up? Man, Christmas tree. Let's see. My favorite game was the Bears game in the NFC Championship because we knew we had a coach and a quarterback. Yeah, because that game didn't feel bad. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Jack. That game didn't feel bad because the Saints, like, to me, the Saints were like the Houston Texans, like when C.J. Stroud was in his rookie season. Like, they went to the playoffs, they won a division, but they went into the playoffs playing with house money. And anything that they did in that playoff, like it just would have been what they call lanyap. So by them losing to the Bears, that didn't really hurt. Like that just showed you, like, man, we going in the right direction. Saints winning in overtime 2018 versus the Falcons. Anybody know that the Saints knocked off the Falcons by a score of 20-17? I'm just saying. Y'all remember that? I just want y'all to remember that. Let's see. TJ, in August 2019, I met Lance Moore and we were interviewed. Man, Lance Moore is a nice guy, man. Smart, knowledgeable football guy, man. Really is. You know, shouts out to him. What about the Vikings game and Diggs caught the last touchdown? I was jumping around, thought we had it. Yeah. That now, if the Saints, like, other than Diggs sideline touchdown, unbelievable. I mean, those are words that's going to be ingrained in our mind forever, because anytime the playoffs come, they're going to show that play forever and forever. Amen. And also the Beastquake. I mean, come on. Man, the Saints picked the worst time to just look like the worst team. But yeah, if you look at that game, the Saints were like down in that game, and it was looking like they weren't going to be able to come back. And if they would have made that tackle, that would have been one of the greatest comebacks in Saints history. But such is life. Saints versus Dallas 06 Sunday Night Football. Yeah, that was a game also. Now, these are two games. These are two games, Kevin. I want to acknowledge this game too. That game represented the fact that people understanding that the Saints weren't the Saints of old. Like, you ain't about to just go out here and just walk all over these dudes. That was the first game. The Patriots game showed the world that the Saints were for real and they are a legit Super Bowl contender. Because you got to remember, they went 13-0 that year till they lost to the Cowboys on a Saturday night when DeMarcus Ware, like, and this was the Saints' fault. I don't care what anybody. The Saints did not expect DeMarcus Ware to play in that game because the week before, DeMarcus Ware left on a stretcher. So they probably thought, oh, man, we ain't got to worry about DeMarcus Ware. I don't think they were prepared for him because DeMarcus Ware was ripping them boys to shreds the entire night. And if you're going to lose a game, please don't lose the Cowboy. But, yeah, I remember that. There was two games that represented two particular moments in time for the Saints. I was in a daiquiri shop dancing on the table when you got that touchdown. I left straight. Yeah, that was hurtful, man. That was hurtful. But this was a very great show, man. I know it's a little bit longer than we normally do, but I definitely wanted to pay more attention to the chat as well as the callers, man. Shouts out to everybody that chimed in. Jerry, I seen that you say you were going to just stick it out in the chat. You know, shouts out to Josh. Shouts out to Mick. Shouts out to Jordan. Shouts out to Jamie G. You know what I'm saying, for chiming in. I really do appreciate that, man. Y'all could have been doing something else with your evening, but you decided to chime in, tell me a little bit about what you was thinking about the team. I really do appreciate it. And thank you. Even if you didn't comment or you didn't call in, I really do appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the State of the Saints podcast. Help the channel to grow. I would really appreciate that. Also hit that like button in order for us to be able to get those likes up. Shouts out to everybody that's watching this on other platforms like X, like Facebook, like the other channels, Gumbo Pod Sports, Saints Talk. Thank you so much for being here as well. Subscribe to those channels as well. Wednesday, tomorrow, Saints Talk with Timothy J. Jones at an earlier time, 5 p.m. Eastern. I had to change it up. Normally, I go live at 7. Changing it up, Paxton has a baseball game, around that time, around 6:45. So going to be doing it a little early so I can go out there and support my little man. So make sure you check that out. Also, just want to give a special shout out to Bleacher Report once again, man. Amazing working with them. It's a blessing, to be able to be a part of such of a very prestigious platform. Not bad for somebody that ain't qualified, right? Shouts out to 103.7 The Game, man. Shouts out to my guy D-Lo. I was on 103.7 a couple of days ago talking about Saints football. And I'm gonna try to see if I can actually convert that to audio download that so I can play it on the channel. Always a pleasure for them to, ask your boy to come on the show, man. So amazing things happening over here on the State of the Saints podcast, but it would not be possible without fine folks like yourself supporting and continuing to, be in the foxhole with your boy. And it means a lot to me. Roderick, thank you very much for the $2. Says, what's that, Texans versus Saints 2019? Oh, yeah, that first game of the season. Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, when Will Lutz, where he kicked a 58-yard field goal? 58-yard field goal for the win? Yeah. Yeah, that was a good game right there. Yeah, that was a good game, man. Shouts out to everybody, man. I'm pretty sure there's thousands of games that you probably can think about, that, probably good or bad that the Saints played. And thank y'all so much for sharing that. I really do appreciate that. But people also forget Marcus Williams was the reason the Saints came back. Yep, that interception. People don't, like I said, if you're the GOAT, people remember you. If you're the GOAT, people remember you. Chew on that. Now, till next time, all I got to say is, who that?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who that?